You have a world inside the wall and a world outside the wall, and the two should never meet.
This is 4 centuries of life, death and everything in between.
Yes, there are dark days, but then you have your good days when everything seems to go right and everyone's having a laugh and a joke. For a job that everyone thinks is probably the most darkest job in the whole wide world, I really liked it.
There are very, very few true representations in the media of what a prison is really like.
I know a lot of people think that they're very dingy, suffering, death, dark, destruction. What's your experience?
They can be, but they can also be a place of amusement as well.
Police officer, for example, when they walk their beat, they're walking past, children, civilian shopkeepers, mums, kids, dads, whatever, and that sort of stuff, and the occasional odd criminal. When I walk my street, I'm walking past some rapists, murderers, child offenders, sex offenders, shoplifters, and so on and so forth. That's my street.
I think prisons actually mirror community. We go into one of our reunions now and literally you could have the entire staff sat with their backs against the wall, because nobody ever wants to stand without their back against a wall, because you don't in prison. It's not safe.
Many years ago, I had a prisoner on my wing. I'd been his personal officer for quite 2 or 3 years. He was quite a good writer. He had a little manual typewriter, and he would write every night. He was writing short stories and things like that. And I got up in the morning to get a phone call. Before you hear on the radio, John hanged himself last night. John's death, some 30 years ago, still hurts me more than my own parents' death 5 years ago. They can be dark in some ways. Death in jail is horrendous. It doesn't just affect the prisoners, it affects us as well.
You've got to be non-judgmental, because your job is not to put a person in prison. They're already in prison. Your job is to deal with the person that's there.
Because you would have to go down and see them on the wing within 3 days of them arriving at the prison. Some members of staff would not want to know what a prisoner had done, whereas I would get the file on my desk. I didn't have a choice in it anyway, but I would read it, because knowing that I had to go down and see the prisoner within 1, 2, 3 days time, I wanted to know what he was all about and what exactly I was dealing with.
When I did the first tour here with National Heritage, went around to the Seg area. So I always say, right, just get in there. I'm going to shut the door. I'll pull, because there's no lock on it, they're taking all the locks off. But I would slam the door, like I would normally do. And to see their reaction, they go, so like, you're in there for 30 seconds and you couldn't cope. Imagine being in there for 25 years. And they see all this and they go, oh, I never knew. Of course you never knew. It's behind a massive wall. No one knows.
Shepton, we ran a very calm, secure regime. We only held life sentence prisoners. They had an awful lot to lose. If things started to go wrong for them, if they were fighting, they're caught with drugs, any of those stuff, it could put another 10 years on their sentence.
Working with prisoners, you work with them as a person, not with them as what they've done. People will say, well, why would you work with them? Why would you care for them? Why would you feed them? Don't give them any food. And you go, no, they're human beings in the end. Yes, they've done horrible crimes. Yes, they've been punished by their peers, they've been sentenced by their peers, and now they're serving out that sentence.
A colleague of mine went off work and we didn't see him for the best part of 3 months, and he had a total mental breakdown. If you need to talk to somebody, talk to them. Don't hold it in.
At 99 times out of 100, probably, no, everything was running fine, but you could feel if something wasn't. There's a definite air.
As soon as I walked into the gate one morning, I thought there's something not right here. And I walked up to the gate where you draw your keys from, and I said to the OSG, operational support grade, behind the desk, and I said, what's happened? And he pointed to a note on the, the glass pane at the front, and a prisoner had hung himself and had been found that morning. So no wonder why the prison was quieter, because obviously it's a community in mourning. Somebody in their community died, which I suppose is just the same as being on the out.
I was Reggie Cray's life and personal officer for now 3 years. But Reggie Cray, everybody asks about Reggie Cray, they all know they've been here. The Crays, in the words of their own gang member, were just a pair of murdering bastards. The photograph I saw of Reg just before he died is just a shadow of the man I knew.
I think there's a lot of emotions here. And I think there's a lot of reflecting by people that come in here. One for myself, it's like to think that just the stories of them going to the infirmary thinking they were being treated, and 9 times out of 10 they weren't coming out of there. They knew if they were going up there they weren't coming out. And I just think the whole place is just a memory.
Stories you get from those who have been here way longer with than you have, and then there's experiences that you go, I can't explain that. But as you come around to where the old treadmill block is, I've gone around there once, and as I went around there, the lights came on the top, on the top floor. I was getting on the radio, says, anyone mucking around with the lights in the LIFE unit? No, not us. I'm going to leave it on.
I think just walking around the corridors where all these people were, 400 years of people walking around and the change that it has gone through, I just think it's just one big reflection, I think.
I mean, paranormally, practically every prison in Britain could claim the title of most haunted prison in Britain or something like that. I genuinely feel this is true for this place, not only because of the history. So you're looking at 388 years of active service. The place is not dead. It's great. It's still going on. You've still got events. It's more popular than ever. It's massively popular with the public. And it's just a fantastic place.
And don't expect something to happen, because it don't always. You could come down here and something will happen, or you could come down here 10 times and nothing will happen. It just takes one visit and then something will. Once you come in through the gates and you start wandering around, you just automatically get a feeling of a warm feeling that you can't really describe, and you just feel at home. With the doors being open and being open to the public, I think it's more of a place of remembrance.
Prisons are the world behind the wall. People will always have a macabre interest in prisons because it's the world they never get to see. So it's an unknown world, and people want to know about the dark side of life.
Humans aren't designed to be intimately close like that in a confined environment. It's all great in a house, you can open the door and just walk out. You can't do that in a prison. You're there. Once that door's shut, that's it. How you approach the job and how you approach each and every prisoner makes your job easier. Sometimes we are the only family that they have. You can't dismiss that humour out of hand, because sometimes it's the only way a prisoner can cope, like it's the only way a prison officer could cope. That dark humour, that banter. It's how you work within the prison environment that makes it dark or light.
if it was a sunny day and I'd finished everything I felt I needed to do, I'd sit on the exercise yard on a bench and have a cup of tea and a chat. You need to build relationships with people to ensure that something like that works.
People come in who are, if not in their generation, then certainly within 1 or 2 generations, either have a connection with this place, mainly sort of either working here or a connection to the prisoner or, one of the family members were. So you're getting that living history.
This place can be preserved, and it must be. If you don't, then it's just a devastating loss to history, and you've got to protect it and preserve it.
I wouldn't change anything. Yes, I've had some really bad experiences, but I've also had some good ones, some good results as well.
They're not anywhere near as dark as people think.